I'm going to say that a jerkbait is probably one of the most difficult lures to actually learn how to fish because
there are a few things that you must do perfectly. Welcome back to the channel. Now, I've learned a lot from watching videos on how to fish a jerkbait, but then I'm fishing it completely wrong though from what they say. So let's see how I fish a jerkbait.
it's a master.
Got him! Yeah! Y'all see that? That shit was tight.
I guess when I'm fishing a jerkbait the wrong way, it shows that it's catching fish. So just keep on going.
Because one of the things about a jerkbait is it's not a lure that you just throw out there and just reel in, like a crankbait.
Just watch.
And yes, I could retrieve a jerkbait straight in like a crankbait and still catch it. Biggin. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Got him!
Guys, I found that it is far more frequent that a bass eats it when it's going slow than if you're jerking it really fast like this. I don't know of many situations that a bass wants to chase that hard to get it. And so it's really just a combination, like I said, of making sure you have the cast right, you get that bait down to maximum depth, and then you make sure that you're not having a taut line and jerking, because then you're at that point, you're basically jerking a crankbait because you are pulling it through the water at such a speed that you don't want to be pulling it at such a speed where it's not jerking back and forth. At that point, it's kind of like pulling back and forth. And so if you're just going to start jerking right away, you're not going to get the jerkbait down to where it needs to be. The first step is to reel. I don't know.
Jerkbait it's a lure that you just throw out there and just reel in. But a jerkbait, you actually jerk it down 10 times, and what happens is once it gets to the deepest part there, that's when you want to just slow your jerk down. So you'll maybe twitch it a couple times like that and let it stop. Twitch it a couple times, let it stop.
Do you just start jerking away like this? No, you don't start doing that. Now here, I'm fishing my jerkbait on top of grass. So when I retrieve it, I'm gonna keep a rod tip high and keep the jerkbait right on top of the grass and just try to get a fish to react to my jerkbait. There we go. Cast over here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Yeah. Do y'all just see that?
If you are jerking on a completely taut line, you're pulling that jerkbait farther along through the water, faster through the water than it needs to. You could have a more effective cast and keep that jerkbait in the strike zone longer if you had a little bit of slack in your line. You want to have a little bit of slack, jerk, and then you want to return your rod tip right back to where it was. The most important part of retrieving a jerkbait, and that is making sure that you have your rod angle right and your slack right. You want to have your rod angled down. It's really just a short little staccato 8 to 7, 8 to 630, but you could do the angle right and completely mess up the retrieve because you don't have the slack right. But then I'm fishing a jerkbait completely wrong, but I'm catching fish. Bang, 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 back and forth, and that is what triggers those fish to bite.
And catch a lot of catfish starting out. You have to slow down. You can't fish areas that jerkbait it's a wounded minnow, and it's not going to eat today.